Hello, my name is Hazel, and I am a survivor of sex trafficking. My freedom date is April 12th, 2022. Thanks to Beyond Trafficking, I live a life free from my perpetrators and have been able to completely rebuild my life. If it wasn't for Stephanie and her ability to receive me right where I was, I wouldn't have the ability to stand up here today. As a child, I was sexually, emotionally, and physically abused. I grew up feeling unworthy, unlovable, and not good enough. I was unfortunately a victim of satanic ritual abuse. Although I went through years of abuse and torture, I managed to grow up, graduate Bible college, and start to build a life. However, at age 24, through the coercion of a Bible study by two women at a Target that approached me, I was sold into sex trafficking in Dallas and brought to Abilene. Beaten, drugged, and raped, I eventually began complying to everything my pimp asked me. Picture of my mugshot will be shown. I wanted love and attention so badly, I even began to think he really loved me. My concept of love was so twisted, I thought love hurt. For 6 years, I lived in a cycle of sex trafficking, domestic violence, and abuse. It got to the point where I was just living in survival mode. It wasn't until other girls started ODing on fentanyl that I woke up. I woke up and realized I didn't want to die like this. And I began to remember the calling God had on my life. Through the help of an anti-trafficking agency in Omaha and Beyond Trafficking, again, my freedom date is April 12th, 2022. That day, I was terrified and I didn't know if I could do this. That day, Stephanie picked me up with a backpack and a purse, and the events of that day are quite literally ingrained in my brain. I remember Stephanie asking me when I got in her vehicle if I needed anything, and telling me she needed to stop at the office. That day it was 98 degrees in Abilene, and I knew where I was going, it was 35. So I told her I needed a jacket. I literally only had 2 outfits in my backpack. When we got to her office, I think she could visibly tell I was anxious, and every person in every office we went by, she would reassure me. She'd tell me who that person was and what they did there, and that no one was going to hurt me, and that I was safe. When we got into the office, she tried to offer me clothes, hygiene, and honestly, I was so scared I refused. I honestly was wondering what she wanted from me. Today, I know she only wanted to help me. Stephanie then asked me if I was hungry, and I said yes. I hadn't eaten for 4 days. However, I was so anxious, I know I couldn't stomach any food. She told me at the restaurant to order anything I wanted. I hadn't been allowed to make choices or decisions For so long, I ordered what she did. I surveyed the restaurant, every inch of it, and every single person for anyone that may want to hurt me. Stephanie talked to me that day and asked me questions. And for the first time in 6 years, I felt human again. After managing to force a couple bites of food, I asked if I could go out and smoke. I was so afraid she was going to yell at me, but instead she cocked her head, smiled, and said, "Of course." It was so weird. Not only was this Christian woman not judging me for wanting to go smoke, but it also felt like she might actually care about me. Outside, I watched everything. I was terrified, not knowing if I could really do this, if I could actually leave. From the moment I got into Stephanie's car to the moment she watched me cross through the gates at the airport to this moment today, I have felt loved, accepted, and received. From that moment to today, Stephanie has quite literally been my biggest cheerleader, a sounding board, voice of reason, my advocate, and my friend. Picture will be shown of, well, not that one. No? Yeah, that was the day that I was rescued. I moved to a new state and I knew absolutely no one there. With just a backpack, a purse, and years of trauma, I began to rebuild my life. I was diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, Stockholm syndrome, and dissociative identity disorder. Through the help of several anti-trafficking agencies, including Beyond Trafficking, a woman who became my best friend, several mental health professionals, and God, I have been able to build an absolutely amazing life for myself. I have found love, healthy love, one that is selfless and unconditional, that protects, hopes, and always perseveres. I think you guys already saw it, but it's a picture of me, my wife, and my stepdaughter that I married. I needed it to see 2 years clean. Pictures up there too. I currently volunteer with an anti-trafficking agency in which we do public awareness events and campaigns, rescue survivors, and work on placing them. I have been in school for almost 2 years and I only have a year and a half left of my bachelor's program. And I just accepted a job working as a sexual assault advocate with Catholic Charities. The last 2 years have been a complete comeback, and I realize this is a process, not a destination. I have to work on my healing and my recovery every single day. Just when I think I have control of one area of my life, God reveals another one that needs to be worked on. It has been my privilege and honor to be asked to come here and share my story, as well as being treated with such hospitality and love. Thank you to everyone who has been a part of that hospitality, maintaining my safety while I'm in here, and God for bringing these people in my life. But I do not share my story lightly. I share my story because I want to see change. Change for survivors, change for one more person, change within law enforcement, change within this city. Matthew 5:14 says this: "You are the light of the world, a town built on a hill that cannot be hidden." Abilene is that city on a hill. I say that because as we sit here tonight, there are women, men, and children here in this city who do not have a voice. And I stand here to be their voice, to make you aware of the crimes that are happening right here in your neighborhoods. I recognize that this is a hard thing to face for anyone. No one wants to face the reality that their co-workers, police officers, and even elected officials are not only paying these perpetrators, covering up their crimes, but are also a part of the perpetration of these crimes. Unfortunately, there is no amount of advocacy or galas that can fix this problem if we do not stand up and say no more. There is a calling on this city, and I pray that you take that calling as seriously as God does and continue to support Beyond Trafficking so that for one more person, they can have the ability to have a voice and to build the life they deserve. Thank you.